Let's record the meeting. That way we can put it up there. Okay, so this is the first time we've done a hybrid here. We got the guys in the clubhouse.
Hello, David.
Hey, Eddie. Made it.
Hello, Tom.
It's going to be camp out.
You can see this is the Canepatch. This is it,
Camp back, yeah.
right?
It really
Exists, but it's out in the middle of nowhere.
That's the campground now.
Yeah.
Actually, our sites marked out.
So here's a guy kayaking up to it. There's coming from the other side. There's two ways you can come in. You can come in from Shark River, or you can come from the north and come down the Shark River Slough. This is sort of the I can't open many windows because I'm on a limited Wi-Fi here. But this is the view of the area, the ground area. Again, that's back to the campground itself. And this is the dock. And there's a long walk from the dock back to the campground. Okay. So that's the walk from there. This is a view from the dock, a panoramic view. And there's the campground, people camping in the campground. I'm not trying to show you. There's a geodesic marker out there. But it's out in the middle of nowhere, guys. Those are the stars.
You have a map of it?
Yes, I do. That's what I'm trying to do is let me see what I got.
I'm looking at Google Earth. Where would that guy have put up on the north side? What kind of trail was he following?
He was following the wilderness trail, but you got to go about 5 miles off the wilderness trail back into the cane area to get to the campground. It's off. It's not on the wilderness trail. It's off the beaten path.
Yeah, and he would have to go totally off the road.
Yep.
To get to the northern headwaters of the slough.
Yes.
Wow.
So let's see if I
how,
can get
how far is that? Let me see. That would
I'll
be.
try another.
I have in Google Earth about 5 miles northeast from Canepatch to the headwaters of the slough.
Yeah, that's true. It's about 5 miles out of the way. Let me try something else. Google Earth's not going to load. Okay, here's a map here. But the okay. So let me try to put this into context. It's way the hell out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here's Whitewater Bay. See that?
Yeah.
Here's Graveyard Creek. Okay, there's Pahioki, which you drive past when you're driving down the road. And there's the Canepatch, and there's Camp Lonesome up there. Okay. Now the problem with the Canepatch is it's not. This is Tarpon Basin right here.
Right.
The Canepatch is out in the middle of nothing. There's nothing but ground around it and a couple of small creeks. Okay, so I can't get. Let's see if I can get. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, see, it's out in the middle of nothing.
Yeah, it's about 30 miles from Flamingo.
Okay, here, let's go back so I can get it in here. Okay. Let's zoom out. Here's Whitewater Bay. Okay. Here is Little Shark River. So you can go in, follow that, and you get up into, this is called Tarpon Basin, I think. And that's where you would fish. There's no fish there, it's just a little creek. All right. So, you know, if you want to get up, where's Russell? Where's
Well, Fishing Creek is not the fishing destination, it's just the camping destination. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's just
So
a,
all the fishing takes place getting to fishing, fish.
or in the areas around it.
So what you're saying is we don't need to get to the Canepatch. We should fish just Tarpon Basin.
You know, if we go back, okay, here's Whitewater Bay. This is where tarpon are caught, here or up in Oyster Bay, which is this area up here. Okay, and they're coming in with the water through here. I've seen the guys anchored up and fishing in here for tarpon, and depending on the water flow, then also up in this middle area right in here. Okay, now if you want to go up into the cane patches, what we can do is you can go up in either the Roberts River, Chicky, and you're out in the middle, you're out in the sawgrass there. You're in fresh water there. There's no reason to go another 40 miles up and around to get into the same mess.
Oh.
Okay,
To get to the
there's the
Roberts
cane
River,
patch.
You have to go outside and then come up, right?
You got to go all the way up through Whitewater, through Oyster Bay, get into Little Shark River, and run that up into Tarpon Bay, and then over to the cane patch to spend the night. Okay, or we could rent the boat. But I would suggest in April, what we do, since we're still having cold weather, is to fish in Whitewater up in this area, or up in the Oyster Bay area, or you could go out in ponds and fish for the tarpon in that area. If you really want to go up into the back, you can go up into the North River. Right, where'd it go? Now it's giving up on me, right? Okay, let me try to share this one. You guys still there? I didn't lose everybody yet?
Nope.
No.
Still here.
We're here.
Okay, here's the map. All right, so there is the cane patch, and you can see it's nothing but mangroves and marsh around it. Tarpon Bay is the fishing area. And then what we would have to do, the zoom messes up, but you get an idea. Okay, there's Tarpon Bay. We have to come down the Shark River, okay, and then pick up here in Oyster Bay, and then run through Whitewater to get to it. I don't care if we got 6 boats, it's gonna take you 2 hours to drive to Flamingo, 2 hours to run 30 miles out to there, okay? And you got an hour and you gotta turn around and come back.
Yeah.
It's an unreasonable thing. So what we could do, if you wanna fish up the river, you know, we could go up, hello.
The horseshoe.
The North River.
Horseshoe's a good spot.
Here's the North River here.
Mhm.
Okay, there's a crossover between Roberts and the North River. There's a Chicky here. There's a Chicky in the North River. But what I would suggest, again, is we would fish in this area, this middle area of Whitewater Bay, because they would be coming in through Oyster Bay. And I've seen the guides lined up here before, waiting for the tarpon to come through in here. Okay, and then they run into Whitewater Bay. And this is where Jerry and Ken and all those guys used to fish.
You have tracks for that area.
Yeah, it's up in this area here. Now Carlos is just showing up, right? You missed the whole thing, Carlos.
Start over.
Okay, I'll start over. For you special. For you special, okay. Here's the cane patch, see that? And it's surrounded by mangroves and marsh. There's nothing there. If you're gonna fish in Tarpon Bay, okay? But again, you got a 2-hour drive from Flamingo to Flamingo, 2-hour ride to get the 40 to 50 miles out to this, okay? And then you're gonna get an hour out there and you're gonna turn around and come back and forget the car.
Right.
So if we want to fish tarpon, this area of Whitewater Bay, up in this upper area up here,
It's that big open
Or-
area that Jerry used to fish.
well, it's the upper part,
The
past,
horseshoe up in
past-
that corner. Just
yeah,
go
past this point here, up in this area. Okay, they're gonna be coming in Shark River, Ponce Leon Bay, they're gonna come through Oyster Bay, and they're gonna come into the upper part of Whitewater, they're looking for food.
Mhm.
That's like running the gauntlet between the sharks.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, they come in with the tide. Look, I got a tide, huh?
Mm.
I got a tide. Just added this today. So what we would probably do, you know, I mean, that's a reasonable trip. That's still, what, a 45-minute run up to the other side of Whitewater?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 15, 20 miles, right?
You could fish on the.
Plus Coop Bay, plus Buttonwood Canal to get out there. So it's gonna take you an hour to get out to here. So that's 3 hours instead of the 4.
Mhm.
All right.
It's
And
an all day.
we can fish in here. And because before when we run down to this area down in here. Just the amount of time, but we would go straight out and fish in these areas up here. You may see them swimming, you may not. Then we could go up into Oyster Bay. You see where they come in through Shark River here. And they're gonna go north up to the Tarpon Basin or down into this area, down through these passes in here. And if we got a rising tide,
There's trout in there too.
right, if we get a rising tide coming in there, or the wind's blowing it in, then we could probably fish for trout, right? Or tarpon.
Mhm.
Really got schooled by it. He's still out there.
Big snook, what it was. Well, if you got a bait out on a topper for tarpon, anything comes along is gonna grab it, right?
Mhm.
Okay, anything on the bottom looking up, which would be a snook or a tarpon. So. All right, I haven't heard any comments from the peanut gallery. Are you guys online? Did we lose you?
Sounds like a plan.
We're looking at our own map.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah,
All right,
Herman, there's
Eddie, we
some-
lost him.
I'd rather continue to
Okay.
fish in Whitewater Bay.
Yeah, let's work Whitewater Bay, and up in this
Right. area
is where the tarpon will be coming in. Oyster Bay, you know, you can get into Oyster Bay easy, you just run up the Joe River. Okay,
Not a good way to go.
and then up in Oyster Bay, there's some redfish in these areas here, very few. There's some snappers along these lines. You go up here with the fish coming in and try for tarpon.
Mhm.
Anybody here caught tarpon yet? Tom, you haven't hooked big
Sure.
tarpon?
He brought a nice big one up the slope
Okay,
on the light
all
rig.
right. Ponce is so open.
I've had them on.
There's
but
no,
never
they won't eat anything out there. There's no concentration for them.
Yeah, but it depends where the wind's coming from.
Well, yeah, well, hopefully it's not west.
But that's what's pushing the,
The tide, if we have the incoming tide, you see it runs all the way through here. And they're gonna come into Whitewater Bay looking for bait, looking for food. Okay, they're not gonna fish in the river. They're not gonna fish in these passes here, although if they see a trout, but they're gonna be cruising out in these areas out here. So that would be
Herman,
the target
Herman,
for where we would try to go.
Herman, where you said
Yes.
that you saw the boat's anchor look waiting for tarpon is by the marker in Comoran Pass.
No, it's up in Oyster Bay, in the north part of Oyster Bay there. If you, I don't know if we got the markers here. See the markers, you come up and then you run across Oyster Bay and continue
Yeah.
out this way. See that?
right
Okay.
across.
Yeah, on the
There,
north side of Oyster Bay. Yeah.
Area here, the red line, that's the
Wilderness water.
wilderness, or also in this piece up in here. So that's where the water flow is coming from, the Shark River. See the Ponce de Leon Bay, the Shark River coming in here, and then they're gonna go into this upper area, Whitewater, to feed. Okay,
Right, and
we may not catch them in Whitewater,
so it's gotta be in the
but
past.
this is their highway. As Dave Dinkert says, you fish the fish highways, where they're going through, and maybe you can snag them or
And
hook them on
April's the
on a
peak
bait
season,
there, you know?
April to May, right?
Huh?
Is the peak when they're supposed to be.
April, you know, we would be April 17th would be our weekend outing. And we're cold now.
It's gonna
It
warm
could
up.
probably warm up quickly, but I don't know how quickly. But,
Cool and dry.
you know, if we could go a weekend earlier if you wanted to, but I think the 17th and do Whitewater, give us a nice audience, you know?
Right.
Fernando, you gonna go? Okay, Tom?
3 days before my surgery, I'm going.
Okay, good, good, good. So again, guys, if you want, where's Russell, right? You can go up here and the mangroves and the cane patches right up in here by going up the Roberts River or the North River, okay?
And you get into the same.
And you got to cross over here and you go up here and, you know, even our Florida Marine tracks will stop the red line here. You're on your own after that, okay?
At your own risk.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's been so quiet up here, you can hear nothing except your own body sounds.
Just the guy who's up there before you chasing the redfish out. You saw that.
I was up there one night at sunset and everything exploded along the shorelines here.
Wow.
You know, it's the same thing. You think there's no fish there. And it was, you know, like 5 or 6 o'clock and the sun was starting to set and everything exploded along the shorelines.
Mhm.
Got Ronnie, he with one hand.
I'm still talking. I'm losing my appetite.
Well, some of us could think about camping, you know, there's chicky huts everywhere.
Yeah, it's Chickies. I mean, we could take that, you know, and that's easier than the
Campground at
the
Canepatch,
boat, right?
on the boat.
Yeah. Let's see. So we want the Roberts River Chickie, right? So we found a picture of that. CHI.
Is Giuseppe on the call or Eddie Concepcion? I'll see. him.
Eddie's was on it, but then he's muted out, so I don't know. I think he took off.
That's
I'm
Peter.
here.
There he is.
Oh, you're here, you're there.
You're there, and Gene's there too.
Okay.
Right.
I think Giuseppe and I did the Roberts River Chicky. We're up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There
I
are a
mean,
lot of
it's
snapper.
got 2 things, plus a porta potty. The service is not not getting me that good. The other one, this thing here is offline, so that's why I got that.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So I don't have a photo of it, but this is a program I got online, offline. And in the North River, hello,
Right there.
I'm looking at it.
North of your camp. That's it.
Yeah, no, there's a Chicky in there too. Here it is up there. Okay, it's up on the other branch.
Mhm.
You want to spend the night, I guarantee you, you'll catch something, right?
Malaria from the.
Yeah. A cold, right?
Western equine
It would be the ultimate irony to go out there and come down with COVID. Go out to the Chicky and catch COVID, right?
Zika virus.
Again, I think these areas of Whitewater Bay and this area up in here with Oyster Bay, if you're gonna look for tarpon, you know, you can fish these islands right here for trout.
You say the tarpon don't run through the Joe River, that they don't come in the south side and do that?
No, I'm not gonna say never, man. I've seen them rolling in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially the entranceway when you come in.
Yeah. and Snook too, right, Carlos?
Yeah, that-
times the guys during those cutoffs and off the river,
Joe River.
the inside of Whitewater.
Right up in, what, here. talking about here, Tom?
You're in the Oyster Bay beach. This time of the year, you'll also see turtles looking for a nest.
Uh-huh.
You see all these little areas in here, I mean. I'll have to mute the microphone, because I have to kill you guys. If you hook a 1 pound catfish, okay, and you put that on a popper cork and let it float out there, struggling. If there's a tarpon, he'll eat it, guarantee it.
Ladyfish is a.
Ladyfish, anything like that.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
the catfish, all you gotta do is put a shrimp on the bottom and pull up the little catfish and then hang it on a popper.
Oh.
Okay, that's all you gotta do. And, your mileage may vary. First thing to do is find a catfish, but that's more prevalent than ladyfish or,
Right.
Whitewater Bay to me is always a little late.
yeah, or a trout, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you could use a trout as well. But if it's struggling,
Dinner bell.
yes, the dinner bell ringing. You put on a popper and let it hang in the water there. If something's in the area and it is not, then you move, right? To the next spot.
Mhm.
This is a good trout area up here anyway.
That's the horseshoe.
Yes,
Got trout and probably some other good things. Jacks, we put big jacks in there.
right. And these little islands here, they love to have trout around those.
There's a great video by Salt Strong with trout eating the baits and how they attack it. And
Mhm.
it just came out on Salt Strong. I was watching it, and how they don't go for the tail first. They go right for the body, and they attack it from below. They come right up at
Yeah, yeah.
it.
Mhm.
So even if your tail breaks off on your rubber, you probably still catch trout.
Yes.
That's what the point was.
Okay, guys, so please forgive me on the Canepatch, but I really just don't see the usefulness of going up there in the middle of this mud area.
Yeah, you're right, it makes
And
sense.
poor Russell,
If the Tennessee
he
guy
would
wants
argue
to-
with me if he's
to
here,
bring
but he's
everyone
not
up.
here, right?
when he comes and he wants to take us up there
Yeah,
for a couple days, then
yeah, yeah, I mean, we could go up there and camp, but then the problem is, I saw a video where husband and wife, they're on the kayak trail. You see the kayak trail, where is it?
the red
The
line.
kayak trail's over here on the red
So
line.
if yours away.
So you gotta go all the way up here to get to the Canepatch. The husband and wife, they paddled up there, and then there were 20 fishermen had tents up there, and they partied all night, and they weren't
Oh.
able to sleep on the kayaks. And they're on a 100-mile trail,
Yeah.
so,
Wow. So you're saying it's easier for boats to go up the shark rather than to go around, it says 5 feet, 6 feet, and the other loop that comes.
yeah, well, see, even to get up there, you gotta go through
Gotta
Whitewater,
go through a
through
lot,
Oyster
yeah.
Bay, up the Little Shark
Oh,
River,
right.
and run all the way
Big
up to
dog
there,
leg, big
to
dog
the
leg.
Tarpon Bay, and then still go up the creek to get to the Canepatch.
But that's the kayak trail to do that, right?
No, the kayak trail's the red line over here.
But it cuts down to shark, isn't it?
Yeah, it comes down
They
to
have
Shark
to do
River.
the same long trip.
Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
what the red line is. And then it goes down through Whitewater.
Is that trail still marked with markers, or the markers are now
They're still there.
gone?
They're still there. They're not many of them, but they're still there.
Herman, what size boat do you think would be the maximum to do on a trip like this?
Look, you got 9 feet, I mean, you got water all the way up there, at least in the Tarpon Bay. So you got 4 to 5 feet up in there. So as long as you go on this north branch of the Shark River, you're gonna have at least
You could
4 to
actually-
5 feet of water the whole way.
You could run the outside.
That's on
and
low
come down
tide.
the
These
Shark
are-
River from.
These are the low tide settings.
You don't have to do Buttonwood. You could go out the front and then just go up the Shark River.
Yeah, you
It's
could,
another way to do it
Right,
with a big boat.
right.
yeah, if you're running, but that's, that's a long way too,
That's a long way.
okay?
No matter how
I mean,
you
I've
slice
done
it, no matter how you
I've
slice
done-
it, it's 40 miles.
I've done the whole loop.
What'd you say, Peter? I didn't hear that.
That no matter how you slice it, it's about 40 miles from Flamingo,
Still-
one way or the
yeah,
other.
yeah, I see.
The loop is about 60.
I'm just saying, if you're worried about the shallows in Whitewater, if your boat is drafting a lot, you might want to consider going around. And
Right.
the houseboats only are allowed to go as far as the as Oyster Bay, that's it, I think. They can't go
The
past there.
mount up in the ponds.
They're not allowed in there.
No.
You can't even get, I believe. White
Well,
Water
there's
Lake.
such a current through there, you'd have a hard time getting a houseboat with 60 or 100 horsepower motor up the river with the current.
Dragging the flats boat.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're not above it.
Well, Chris is finalizing the May trip, a little late for me, but he's got
yeah,
5 or 10 on that one.
yeah. Well, I asked him would he be interested in having us use that as another boat, but he's got his own plan. He's gonna go offshore, he's gonna
Yeah,
fish the wrecks and then come back in. So, I mean, we could rent the houseboat, and he told me the minimum rental is for 2 days. So, but they're booked way in advance,
Mhm.
especially with tarpon season, right?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, rafting up, maybe that rafting and anchoring and having cushions and sleeping bags on boats would be another option.
that's an option too. And we could still, like the Joe River Chicky here is out of the
Very
wind.
protected.
And there's also one up here in Oyster Bay. I used to go up there.
There's
and
2
go
Joe
fishing.
River ones, right? Oh, Oyster
Yeah,
Bay.
there's a north and a south.
You could always sleep.
And
in your
here's Oyster
boat.
Bay here. The Chicky there, where'd it go? It
But if it's a
disappeared.
west wind, that's very unprotected right there.
No, it's behind. It's in this little creek
Oh, it's
here.
in it, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the creek. It's not showing it to me now. I don't know why. Where'd the Chicky go? I lost it. Oh, different one. There it is.
Yeah.
Oyster Bay Chicky. It's on this inside. I don't know. I used to go up there when the wind was blowing. You can fish right in there. They could trout. They're in all these little channels right in here. Used to catch trout right here where it runs over the thing. That's another secret spot.
Even the Johnson Key would be a nice place to go on the outside.
Outside, I don't like it. It's horrible with the wind and the lack of grass.
It's not the place.
It's not the way you remember it. Okay, so I guess I'll wrap up the recording. Anybody got any other questions on it? I'm not going to turn off the Zoom, but I'm going to stop recording it. So, any questions? Nobody cares, right?
No.
Okay.
Close it up. Recording off.
So I'll stop the share. I'll stop the recording. All right, so we'll plan the next trip and we'll post it. I'm going to try to post this on the website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.